when the music fades and all is stripped away, and I simply come, longing just to bring something less of worth that will bless your heart.
Today's gospel must be seen in context of a larger light. That is, the blind Bartimaeus, who eventually sees. His story must be contrasted with last week's gospel, where Jesus' disciples, especially James and John, failed to see Christ's true identity and then selfishly seek power for themselves from Christ. So we can read and hear the story of blind Bartimaeus and his healing in a metaphorical way. That is, there are men and women who are blind, who are outstanding moral Christians. The blindness in this story that speaks to our heart is a metaphorical blindness, where perhaps we fail to see our misdeeds, we fail to understand who Christ is, and perhaps we are stuck in a sort of selfishness or narcissism, where we're unable to see the needs of our friends, our family, the people in front of us, and we think of ourselves much like James and John did. Okay? So perhaps in our context, are we blind to our own sins? Are we blind to the needs of others? And perhaps for those who are in sports, are we always thinking of ourselves? Right? Are we not thinking of our teammates? Are we not thinking of our coaches' advice to us? And it's all about us. Think of Christ. Who is Christ? He is the ultimate man for other. He's always a person who's thinking of others. Can we be like him? Can we understand our truest, deepest desires to be men and women for others, and not men and women for ourselves, much like James and John did in the previous gospel?
So priorities are a big thing in a coach's life, and we always preach to our athletes about priorities. And I think a lot of us, if we were asked what our priority list is, we would say God is number one, our family's number two, friends are three, work is four, and our hobbies are five, or something like that. But I'd argue against that. And in my own personal life, I used to have this wrong. I used to go to mass on Sunday, and then the rest of the day I'd forget about God. And that, in my estimation, is a messed up priority list. Our priority list should say God in my spiritual life, God incorporated into my family, God a part of my work, God a part of my friendships, God glorified through my hobbies. And once I started to understand that in my faith life, my faith didn't just become a 1 hour on Sunday type of thing. It became something that I did through my whole day, through my whole life. So for me, I wake up in the morning and I do a morning offering. I say some prayers, and then I go to daily mass as often as I can. And then my drives to and from work are always filled with a rosary and a Divine Mercy chaplet. And then throughout the day when I'm working, although I can't be, constantly praying or anything like that, I'm always trying to live out my faith through what I do with my players, so that when my players walk in the gym, they see a joy and an enthusiasm that sparks a light in them to say, man, why is Coach Sodi always this way? Why is he always joyful? Why is he always excited to be here? And then hopefully that will lead to a conversation with them asking me, hey, Coach, I'm struggling with this or that, and allow me to proclaim the gospel to them. So for us as coaches, we have to have our priorities straight. But for us as Christians, for us as Catholics, we have to incorporate God into every aspect of our priority list. And that's what I try to do within my own life. And once I did that, my whole life opened up. And instead of just glorifying and worshiping God on Sunday morning, I began to glorify and worship God through my entire day.